The quietest streets are often the most dangerous. On a calm suburban road in the United States, where porch lights glow warmly and neighbors exchange polite smiles, no one imagined that something terrifying was unfolding just a few feet beneath their homes. This was the kind of neighborhood where people felt safe leaving their doors unlocked, where parents believed their children were protected, and where evil learned how to hide in plain sight. The quietest streets are often the most dangerous. His name appeared in police records only once before everything unraveled. A minor noise complaint. Nothing serious. Officers arrived at his house late one night after a neighbor reported hearing strange sounds. When the door opened, the man smiled calmly and explained that the noise came from an old television set in his basement. The officers saw nothing unusual and left. That night, whatever was happening behind those walls continued, unseen and unheard. Months passed, and the town remained peaceful. Until a young woman went missing. She was a college student, full of plans and ambition, last seen walking home after a late shift. Her family reported her disappearance within hours. Flyers went up. Social media exploded. Police searched nearby areas, but there were no signs of a struggle, no witnesses, no clear leads. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. Investigators noticed something unsettling. Her phone's final signal came from a location disturbingly close to the quiet street where the smiling neighbor lived. Still, there was no evidence strong enough to act on. Days turned into weeks. Hope slowly faded, and the town began to whisper. People locked their doors now. Parents watched their children more closely. Fear quietly replaced comfort. Then came the call that changed everything. Another neighbor contacted police, this time reporting a strong, unbearable odor coming from the same house. Officers returned, expecting something minor, perhaps a dead animal or plumbing issue. What they found instead would haunt them for the rest of their lives. In the basement, behind a reinforced door, police discovered a scene so disturbing that hardened detectives struggled to speak. The room was soundproofed. Chains were bolted into the concrete. Stains covered the floor, cleaned, but not enough. It was immediately clear that this was not an accident, nor a single crime. This was a place designed for suffering. The man was arrested without resistance. During interrogation, he showed no emotion, no panic, no tears. He spoke calmly, almost politely, as if discussing something ordinary. When detectives asked why he did it, he paused, looked directly at them, and said something chilling. "No one ever notices the quiet ones." That sentence would later be replayed in court, in documentaries, and in the minds of millions. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a pattern. Several missing persons cases, previously unrelated, now pointed back to the same area. Victims who lived on the margins. People's society didn't look for hard enough. The man had studied routines, learned trust, and waited patiently. Evil, in this case, wasn't impulsive. It was calculated. During the trial, families filled the courtroom. Mothers cried. Fathers stared in silence. The accused showed no remorse. He described his actions without emotion, as if recounting someone else's story. Psychologists later described him as a predatory personality, someone who blends in, observes, and strikes when no one is watching. The jury needed little time to decide. The sentence was life in prison without parole. Yet for many, justice felt incomplete. Some victims were never found. Some questions were never answered. And the neighborhood, once peaceful, would never feel the same again. Today, that house stands empty. No family wants to live there. People avoid the street. And locals say that at night, when everything is silent, the place feels heavy, as if the walls remember what happened inside. This case reminds us of a terrifying truth. Evil does not always announce itself. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it waves. Sometimes it lives right next door. And by the time you realize it's there, it may already be too late.